me just remind you, share, repost this, and invite people to church on the weekend, Wednesday night worship, so that we can continue to engage with one another. Man, God's moving in our midst, and he's going to continue to move in our midst. Today, as we're going to spend 5 minutes with God, I want to talk about rest. In the book of Hebrews, chapter 4, starting at verse 9, it says this: "There remains then a Sabbath rest for the people of God. For anyone who enters God's rest also rests from their work, just as God did from his. Let us therefore make every effort to enter that rest, so that no one will perish by following the example of the disobedience." Okay, so this is talking about Sabbath. Now, if you're not familiar with Sabbath, it refers to the seventh day or the last day of the week in creation in the account of the book of Genesis. God worked for 6 days, he created for 6 days, he produced for 6 days, and then he rested, and he set that in as an example for his people. And he talked about this in the Ten Commandments, and even throughout into the New Testament. There's this idea that as humans, we're supposed to work and produce, and then they're supposed to take a second and rest. So we work for 6 days, and we rest for one. And that rest is not just not work, but rather keeping it holy. We actually spend some time reconnecting with God. So this rhythm that was set by God and then given as a commandment to the people of God has kind of all been throughout history. You work and produce, and then you rest. You work and produce, and then you rest. One of the things that I've been noticing in this season, and as the virus has been causing so many of us to be without work, or our normal experience of work, our production, is that it's actually caused very little rest, or it actually has made our rest tough. I know for me personally, there have been many days that I am kind of going through life and I'm like, I didn't have actually anything I had to do today, but I feel tired and I feel like I haven't rested. I think there's something very important to actually knowing how to rest, not just physically, but also spiritually. And I think some of that actually has to do with, if in order to rest well spiritually, you have to have produced a certain amount. I think producing has been the thing that's probably hurt most of us because our purpose gets questioned. We have, as a church, for the past several weeks, we've been talking about what's it look like to thrive in the midst of this and have hope and have joy and peace in the midst of this virus. And a lot of it's been focused on kind of learning to produce, call people, encourage people, spend some time in God's word, journal, like lean into some disciplines and stuff. And I think that has been a thing that, especially in the last week, I have been really personally trying to double down on. It's like, what am I producing right now? Am I calling people? Am I allowing God to use me in the midst of this virus? And once I've done that, then I've also said, okay, now what's it mean to rest? And what I found, what it means to rest, it means that we're actually focusing some time and energy on God and actually stopping with some of the other stuff, some of the online stuff or the news or anything like that. And I'm going to actually stop that, focus on stopping that, and then focus my energy on God. And what I'm finding is when I do that, I am renewed. I actually feel the presence of God, and I actually feel stronger as if I've really rested. So let me encourage you today, or maybe ask you, are you resting? And as a part of that, are you producing? Man, call someone, encourage them today, and then also spend some time resting in God. Get in God's word, spend some time in his prayer, and I know that God is going to renew your strength. Have a great day. God bless you.